important we train ourselves in Africa that we always use data.
The world as we know it has changed for aid, trade, and development. These shifts present Africa with obvious challenges, but they also contain opportunities for the continent to move forward.
Every year, the Ibrahim Forum, the intellectual heart of the Ibrahim Governance Weekend, interrogates things from a critical standpoint, where they want to move the needle on issues that the continent is facing.
We talk a lot as Africans, but we don't implement, so we're going to have some real conversations. You guys ready for that?
But the issue is coordination. Why are we not all speaking in one voice and making sure that we deploy all these resources?
We need cheap money, concessional money, but not overpriced recipes.
What we need to do is to be more focused on people-centered government or governance. We really have to work harder at making democracy make sense for the vast majority of our people.
We work with systems that are old to deliver something new, and it doesn't work that way.
But we need to acknowledge that Africa has made progress, or is making progress in a financial environment that has been decided by others.
Your problem as the African Union is essentially you don't have the money.
That is the weakness of Pan-Africanism, the lack of solidarity.
650 million, your budget for the African Union, 70% of that is paid by foreigners. This is a farce. 5 minutes later, they don't call them colonialists, imperialists. But when they give us money, partners.
The international community has seen value in involving Africa in G20 discussions.
I'm really sick of tired. Every time I talk to everybody, you say in 2063 we'll do that. I'm going to be dead by 2063. Can we do something now, actually?
So we see a disconnect within Africa on where the assets sit and where we need to deploy them. What we have to do is be really smart about how we leverage domestic capital in the region.
The first thing that developing countries, African countries, need to do is to stop the leakage. That's what we call illicit financial flows, and that includes taxation.
Our population doubles every generation with a median age of 20 years old. It is a fantastic engine of growth.
That Africa is a growth frontier. But that growth frontier needs to be proved. We have to, intentionally demonstrate that we are a viable investment proposition.
But I think it is a very useful exercise to think about the World Bank from the client perspective. Like, why would a country sign up to work with the World Bank?
The continent is being told to leap into the future with yesterday's tools.
To change the perceptions, Africans need to invest in Africa. It's about scaling up.
Africans should be writing their own checks. And for that, we have to have sovereign capital markets.
Why is there this moral ambiguity? Where is the liberal outrage on Sudan? Why has the world forgotten this crisis?
We talked in this conference mainly about Africa now taking care of itself. We said, really, we should not rely on aid or whatever.
It's certainly about partnership, not paternalism. It is about being an investor, not a donor. This is not just about development. It's about a profound question, what is development? And I insist that development is about growth, development is about business. That's what I say as a politician in the UK. That is no different in the continent of Africa. It is not about handouts. It cannot be that.
I love this. It's one rare event I see David so excited. And it's a beautiful sight.